Welcome to my review for the 2019 version of The Lion King, the latest live-action reimagining from Disney, this time directed by Jon Favreau and starring Donald Glover, Beyonce, Chiwetel Ejiofor, James Earl Jones, Billy Eichner, Seth Rogen, so many other fantastic people in this film. And of course you know the story of The Lion King, so I'm not going to give you the premise here. Mufasa gets killed, Simba goes away, and he has to return and fit into his rightful place in Pride Rock and in the Circle of Life to bring balance to the Force, so to say. I want to start with the simplest of matters. If you love the original Lion King, you're going to basically see the same film. I don't even know why you would expect anything else. And there are a lot of sequences, a lot of shots that are taken from that original film. There are a lot of pieces of dialogue that are ripped straight out of that film. There are a lot of pieces of music that are ripped straight out of that film. All of them made this original film absolutely perfect, and all of them make this new version great in its own way. Because unlike the original, there are things that don't work in this film, and I will address it. But for the sake of how much the people behind this new film worked and bust their asses, we are going to call this film live action, because this film, each frame, each shot, each color, each animal, each feather on them, each fur, each plant life in this film, each rock looks freaking real. And we are going to address them as so, because I don't think any other film should beat this one for best visual effects at the Oscars, unless this doesn't qualify for some reason because it's all visual effects and whatnot. That's my 2 cents on the whole. It's the same movie again, blah blah blah, and it's only visual effects, it's not live action, blah blah blah. We got that out of the way. Jon Favreau directs the crap out of this film. Yes, taking a lot of elements from the previous one. Does that make things easier? In concept, yes, you still have to make them from scratch. You just have something that you know what will look like in the final result. And a lot of people are saying it doesn't work because the animals, even though they're not real animals, cannot convey emotion through that faces, they cannot emote. I tell you what, they really actually can, because they are not real animals, and the visual effects artists can mold their faces and their eyes, and they're emoting as they will, and they do so. The animals do emote a lot in this film. Timon, Pumbaa, Simba, Scar, everyone does a fantastic job, and every animal is able to convey emotion in every scene that needs to convey emotion of the highest order. And if you've seen the original, you know which scenes I'm talking about, and I'm not going to spoil it just because you've seen the original Lion King. They do work really well. There is one animal that I don't think worked, but he's not even that big a deal in terms of emotion, but I'll get to him in my negatives. Let's talk about that stampede scene, because that is straight out of a horror film. Everything looks and feels absolutely real. So if you love animals like I do, it will rip your heart out to see the stampede scene and other scenes like lions fighting each other, without spoiling, near the end of the film, which is an absolutely epic fight. Neither the stampede scene nor the final climatic battle at Pride Rock live short of expectations. They are as epic and as terrifying as they could be. This film hits all the right notes in all the right ways in terms of the narrative progression, in terms of the dramatic beats of the story and emotional beats. Also, I gotta congratulate Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa, the greatest sidekicks in cinema history, and they live up to that name. They are so freaking good together. Not to speak that Seth Rogen is the perfect freaking casting for Pumbaa. Can I get an amen? They are really good, and they bounce off really well with Donald Glover, who I was really afraid that he wasn't going to fit the role of Simba, but he actually really does. He does transmit that lack of self-confidence that Simba has, that fear of not living up to what his father wanted for him. And of course, James Earl Jones does a fantastic job, and so does Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar. I was really happy to see how much of a different version of Scar this guy is. Now, Scar does do the same things he does in the original. He does say the same things that he says in the original, but Chiwetel brought a really different energy to it. I love the directing, I love the cinematography, I love how Jon Favreau kept the story faithful, and I love that he kept it as faithful as he did. Yes, this is the same movie, but that is not a bad thing. There are new scenes, or rather sequences, that they add to this film to show how certain characters got from one place to the next, to of course make a 2-hour runtime and to expand the larger world of The Lion King. And while I can say they didn't make the film any better from the original, I don't think they hurt it. They just explored different things because they had more time. But with that, there are moments that can feel rather rushed, because with these new added sequences, you can kind of feel a different flow, but as you're really getting into it, it cuts to a familiar sequence or song that you already know. I'm also really happy that they didn't make over-the-top musical numbers. They all kind of feel like they are actually happened with these real animals. They were nothing like the original, that's what I'm trying to get at, and I think that really works for the benefit of this film. With all that said, let's go to the negatives, because this film has negatives, and let's start with the smallest of the negatives. The animal that cannot transmit emotion in terms of how you look at this animal, Zazu. And John Oliver does a really great job as Zazu in terms of his dialogue and his delivery, but the animal itself, he just can't. Birds don't emote. That's the thing with birds. They don't emote. You guys know me. Look, I'm a director myself. I've worked with actors. I know how difficult it is, both for me and for the actors, to nail a character just right. I knew this wasn't going to work as soon as this person was announced. Beyonce could not act with a gun to her head to save her life. I'm really sorry. She can belt. This woman can sing like no other person can. She's magnificent at her craft. Her craft is not acting. Every line from Nala made me wish Nala was not in this film. And I love Nala. You should not make me wish Nala was not in the film. Nala is a freaking big deal. Also, her new song comes in just the wrongest. Is that a word? I don't know, but now it is. The wrongest of moments. It interrupts the flow, the emotion of the film in that scene specifically. And with Beyonce not being any good at acting, it takes a lot away from Nala and Simba's story, because they just don't click. You see the lions cuddling and having fun together, and that's really cute. The voice just doesn't come across, and it doesn't offer chemistry, the chemistry that they need together. She can really sing, but the Can You Feel the Love Tonight song, she just goes crazy belting out these high-pitched notes, which are amazing to listen to, but kind of imitate the energy that your co-singer is singing, girl. Lion King does not hit every single mark 100% like the original did, but it lives up to it. What I'm honestly really happy with is that I can live in a world where I have two different versions of the same story that I love, and I can like them both. One, not as much as the original, but I can still really like it, that it hits the same good, dramatic, beat, emotional notes, and epic thematic scope that the original one does. And for the most part, they really do. I'm giving The Lion King 2019 a B+. Thank you so much for watching once again, my beautiful geekies. You guys are the best. I'll be back with more videos this weekend. Can't wait to see you there. Check out my reviews for the original Lion King and my It Chapter 2 final trailer reaction. I'll leave links for both of those at the end of this video. Thank you so much, and so until the next video, stay beautiful, stay geeky, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video because it really helps me out. Thank you so much. So until the next video, I love you 3000.